You know, it only seems right that I wear this guy's hat because he is going to be out for quite a while. So, just seems right that I wore his hat today. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daniel Strunk from QuickTime Reactions, and this is my review of AEW's Forbidden Door, which took place in front of a very packed O2 in London. They announced the attendance at close to 19,000, which they said was like the biggest crowd that the O2 has had for wrestling, which, if that is true, that's pretty cool. Um, I would say overall, the show was really good in my opinion. I don't think it beats All in Texas as their best show of the year, but it was still a really good show nonetheless. Um, I may not talk about like all the matches on the show beat by beat, um, but I am going to talk about like the bigger matches and some of the more shocking results on this show, because there were a few shocking results in my opinion. Um, to start off with, there were 4 matches on the pre-show. We had Paragon, Yuya Uemura. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly. And who else was on the babyface team? It wasn't El Desperado. Oh my gosh, why is my mind blanking? I can't remember. They took on Crew, Action Andretti, and Leo Rush, and the Don Callis family, Josh Alexander and Hedricero. Really good 8-man match with the baby faces getting the win. Uemura does a really cool overhead belly-to-belly suplex, but he locks the arms and he bridges for the pin. I thought that was really cool. The heels, of course, come in for the beatdown afterwards, but Ishii comes out and make the save, and he suplexes, or no, he doesn't suplex, he brainbusters Lance Archer and Roddy and Kyle head on out. There was an 8-woman tag match with the Triangle of Madness, which is Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tekla and Megan Bayne, taking on Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Queen Aminata, and Harley Cameron. Again, really good 8-woman match. There was a bit of incidental contact between Statlander and Willow towards the end of the match, and in the end, Megan Bayne was able to hit her running powerbomb for the win. So the heels won that 8-woman match. There's a 6-man tag match. Jet Speed, which was Kevin Knight and Speedball, with Michael Oku, Brit Rest legend Michael Oku, taking on the Gates of Agony and Ricochet. Again, really good matchup between all 3 of them. In the end, though, they pinned Michael Oku with Ricochet hitting the recoil for the win. And the main event of the 0 Hour was the Ops, samoajoe, Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs taking on the War Dogs from New Japan, Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, and Robbie X. Again, really good matchup between these two. A hard-hitting match between all 6 guys. But, of course, it ended with the Ops retaining their Trios championships. First thing that I want to talk about from the main show is the main event. The Lights Out Steel Cage match with the Death Riders, Gabe Kidd, and the Young Bucks versus Golden Lovers, Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, and Tanahashi. As soon as I saw the Will Ospreay package that aired right before he made his entrance, I was like, yeah, the baby faces are going to win, aren't they? So that thought immediately ran into my head. By the way, my predictions, I ended 6-3, and so I only lost the tag title match, the women's title match, and then I lost the lights out cage match. Those were the only 3 that I missed. Everything else I got right in my predictions. But yeah, this was a really good lights out cage match. Of course, chaos throughout. Young Bucks came out to their very first theme song, although I couldn't hear what it was. So let me know down in the comments below what they came out to. Another thing that happened was on 0 Hour, they talked to a stagehand, and they said, like, hey, fill this bag up with, like, either tacks or glass or whatever. And the guy didn't do that. He filled the bag up with gummy bears. And I love the fact that they treated the tacks like gummy bears. Tanahashi gives one of the Jacksons a face buster into the gummy bears, and Omega pours the gummy bears in the other Jackson's mouth, and Kotaibushi hits a big roundhouse kick. I thought that was funny. Another funny spot was Tanahashi trying to climb up the cage on the ladder, and Kota and Will were like, "No, Tanahashi, get down. You shouldn't be doing that stuff. Let us do it." And so Ospreay climbs up the cage and hits a big moonsault onto everybody. It was fun chaos throughout it all. Gabe Kidd and Darby Allin went through 4 tables set up on the outside. That took care of them. But in the end, though, it took pretty much everyone hitting their finishers on each respective person. And in the end, they targeted one of the Jacksons. They picked up one of the Jacksons, and Will and Omega hit a hidden blade, one-winged angel combo. But I thought this was also nice as well. They gave Tanahashi the final hit. He hits the high fly flow to pick up the win for his team. I thought that was really nice. And then afterwards, Will takes his bow, because he's going to be out for a little while because of his neck, of course. And then the copyright logo shows up. This is a trick that WWE like to pull. They pulled up the copyright logo, but then the Death Riders launch an attack on Will. Mox hits paradigm shift, or Death Rider after Death Rider after Death Rider, and they stomp his neck. They stomp a chair that's wrapped around his neck, and basically Death Riders take their leave. Every single one of the baby faces, including the ops that ran down, are telling them to, like, raise the cage so they can get to Will, but it's far too late for that. Will is in a bad state, and he's going to be out for a little while. Don't know when he's going to come back, though, but hopefully he heals up nice from his neck problem that he's been having. I brought it up, the women's title match between Toni Storm and Athena. This was really good. They just have really good chemistry with each other. It was really good back and forth. Athena seemed to have all sorts of responses for what Toni was able to throw at her. She even hit the O face at one point while Toni was on the apron. She hit it and snapped her neck across the ropes. I thought that was really cool. Billy Starks, of course, getting a chance to interfere at any point that she can. And then Mina Shirakawa came out to even the odds, chased Billy Starks all the way back up the entrance ramp. Athena looked like she was going to hit the O face again, but nope, Toni countered. She hit Storm Zero, and she retained her women's title against Athena. which that surprised me because, like I said in my predictions, I sincerely thought that they were going to go down the route of doing an Athena mercedesmone rematch at some point down the line for like the AEW women's, ROH women's, and TBS title. I thought they were going to do that, but no, apparently not. So it'll be very interesting to see what kind of direction they go with Tony and Athena moving forward. The other match that had a very surprising ending was the tag title match. Hurt Syndicate putting up their gold against Brodito and FTR. At various points throughout that tag match, you had Brodito and FTR basically trying to stifle the Hurt Syndicate from trying to, build up momentum and basically do what they do best, hurt people. They just had really good back and forth, both sets of combinations, FTR and Hurt Syndicate, FTR and Brodito, and Hurt Syndicate and Brodito. They all got a chance to work against each other, and it was really, really cool. At one point, Brody King and Bobby Lashley got in the middle of the ring, and they had a brief little bit of action, and now I want that singles match to happen, please. Towards the tail end of the match, a couple of people in New Japan hoodies come out and basically attack the Hurt Syndicate, drive them up the entrance ramp, and it is revealed to be Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. They, of course, have been kind of the cronies running around making deals with everybody, making deals with FTR, making deals with MJF, so on and so forth. So they came out to basically deal with the Hurt Syndicate for FTR. But in the end, that didn't actually help FTR because Brodito ended up winning the AEW tag titles by pinning FTR. That shocked me completely because I sincerely thought, with FTR just turning heel and, them going on a bit of a roll, I would have sincerely thought they would have won the tag titles, but I guess not. But I am really happy for Brodito. This makes Bandito a double champ because he is ROH World Champ, so that's pretty cool. And I'm also happy for Brody because he's awesome, and I think he should be doing a lot more. One of the matches that had a lot of stuff going on in it was the world title match between Hangman Adam Page and MJF. Now, of course, MJF didn't use his contract for this match. He basically kind of tied up Mark Briscoe and made all these demands like you can lose the title via countout, by DQ, and I'm not going to use my contract to get this title match. And basically Hangman agreed to all of that. And basically throughout this match, MJF is trying to do every single thing he possibly can to try and get Hangman either DQ'd or counted out so that he can win this title. Even at one point, they're on the apron. MJF actually pulled the timekeeper's table from the timekeeper's area, put it by the apron. It looked like he was going to try and put Hangman through that table, but Hangman ends up hitting a dead eye through that table. But don't worry, MJF did get to use that table. He hit a tombstone on Page through the broken table, and you could actually see like where the blood was, because I think Page got busted open, and you saw the blood stain that was on that table. It looked really nasty. But Page can also fight dirty as well. MJF exposed a turnbuckle, and Page drove MJF right into that turnbuckle, and Max came up so bloody from that. Towards the tail end of the match, Bryce gets bumped when Page goes for a buckshot. He stops himself, but then MJF shoves Page into the ref. He's able to hit the Heat Seeker, and Bryce, in a bit of a confused state, counts the 3, but Hangman did get his foot on the ropes, so that should stop the count. But nope, Bryce continues his 3. MJF thinks he's won the championship. Mark Briscoe comes out to basically protest that and say that's BS. He's stopped by security and made his way back up the ramp. MJF realizes, oh crap, Page's foot is still on the ropes. He tries to go take it off, but he's stopped by Bryce, who sees Page's foot on the ropes and basically says, that result is null and void. We're restarting the match. And so Page is able to hit I think even before the ref bump had happened, MJF goaded Page into trying to use his ring, but that did not work. MJF goes out and he grabs both the championship and his contract. He goes in, he hits Page with the contract, and it's still not enough, but Hangman can play dirty as well. He hits Page, or he hits MJF with the contract while the ref's not looking. He hits a Deadeye and a buckshot to retain his AEW World title. Lots of shenanigans happened in that match, but Hangman Adam Page still walks out AEW World Champion. And the last match that I'm going to talk in depth about is the IWGP title match between Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel McGuinness, because this match was a completely different flavor of professional wrestling than what was on this card. This was technical mastery at its finest. Both guys just going back and forth with each other, just trying to wear each other down to either the point of exhaustion or tap out, or just potentially trying to get a surprise roll up. This was absolutely brilliant between the two of them. Like, I don't think they resorted to even going up on the top rope. It was basically all like submissions and technical moves, and it was just beautiful. In the end, though, Zack Sabre Jr. is able to hit a roll-up and pin Nigel to retain his IWGP heavyweight title, and after the match, they do show each other massive respect. So I thought that was awesome to see. Some of the other results that happened on this show: Cope and Christian Cage beat Killswitch and Kip Sabian. Kyle Fletcher retained his TNT title against Takahashi. Mercedesmone beat Persephone, Alex Windsor, and Bozilla to retain her TBS title. And by the way, Bozilla, I think she freaking rules. She was awesome in that match, and I hope AEW uses her more because she ruled. And some notable returns also happened on the show. Tekla and Queen Aminata were brawling backstage. They made their brawl out onto the entrance ramp when Jamie Hayter made her return, because her and Tekla have some unfinished business. And after, what was it? What match did it happen after? I forget. Oh, I know. I remember now. Okada retained his unified title against Swerve. After the match, he attacked Swerve's knee, which is probably going to write Swerve off for a little while. Nana tried to come out and make the save when Wardlow made his return to AEW. He beat up a couple of security guards. He also beat up Prince Nana and rejoined the Don Callis family as well. So, yeah, those are some of the major notable things that happened on AEW's Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Like I said, it was a really good show. Wouldn't consider it like their best show of the year, but it was still a good show nonetheless. A lot of really good matches. Crowd was hot all night long, and that main event was balls to the walls craziness, which I was expecting from a lights out steel cage match. But yeah, tune in next week when I give my thoughts on Clash in Paris, which will be the last WWE PLE on Peacock before they officially move over to ESPN for the remainder of this year and into the future. But until then, guys, be safe out there, and I will catch you guys next time.